Hello everyone, welcome to the Heritage Trust Network Conference 2020. This is my first network conference. I'm really pleased that you've chosen me to be part of the leadership of this fantastic organisation, alongside the trustees, the staff team and the people that run our branches in the nations and regions of the UK. It's been a strange time to start a new job, a job that's very much about people and places, when you can't meet people or visit places. But during the time when there were fewer restrictions, I was able to go out and see about half a dozen of our members, and I've met many more of you online. I've been really impressed by the diversity of work being undertaken around the country and by the strength and tenacity of the people involved. I'm talking to you today from my home city of Coventry, and I'm standing in front of the buildings that first got me involved in the rescue and reuse of historic buildings. The cottages, the 6 cottages that you see here, back in 1993 were derelict. They were an eyesore on this prominent corner. Many local people wanted them demolished. A lot of people didn't even recognise them as medieval buildings, but a few people did, and they saw their potential for reuse. They started to meet together, and because I knew a little bit about business planning and fundraising, they asked me to come and help them. We formed the Spon End Building Preservation Trust, and I'm pleased to say that that trust is still a member of the network. What followed will be a story that's very familiar to many members of the network. Days in which we spent clearing out decades of accumulated rubbish from the building, but those were days in which local people came forward with their encouragement and their memories about the buildings. Protracted negotiations with the freeholders, lots of knockbacks, blind alleys we went down, lots of learning along the way. During the construction phase, we discovered hidden gems and also hidden horrors. What we've ended up with, crammed into this lovely little package, is a mixed-use development. 10 offices, 3 apartments, 2 shops and a visitor attraction and educational facility. One cottage has been restored to give people an insight into the life of a simple weaver living at a significant time in Coventry's history. And there's a lovely Tudor garden maintained by volunteers. During this year, they've had to suspend their regular open days, reflecting the difficult year that I know many of our members had. The building also houses Grapevine, an organisation helping people with learning disabilities to live independent lives. And in one of Coventry's least well-off neighbourhoods, where post-war development has not been kind, it restores a little bit of the urban fabric. It adds interest, authenticity and identity. I'm now in Coventry city centre, and I'm standing opposite the corner of the Burgess and Hale Streets. The work you see happening behind me is being carried out on behalf of another one of the network's members, Historic Coventry Trust. I asked Carol Pyra, the Executive Director of the Trust, to tell me about these 2 streets.
The Burgess is one of the few remaining streets in Coventry that is a traditional high street. It was a medieval street that backed onto the River Sherborne. Just below us here is a little alleyway called Palmer Lane, so called because the pilgrims would lodge there in the medieval period. So it's a really historic part of the city. Like many traditional high streets, it was refronted in the 18th and early 19th century, and indeed Hale Street at the bottom of the road was entirely created in the 19th century. So we've got the normal set of multi-period buildings, shops with rooms above them. A large number of them are owned by the council, and they will be passing to Historic Coventry Trust.
And Historic Coventry's project has special national significance, as Carol explained.
It's been a long ambition of the council and Historic Coventry Trust to see regeneration of this area. And we were very lucky in getting £2 million from Historic England last May to do the national demonstrator project for the High Street Heritage Action Zone. So essentially what we're doing is a classic high street regeneration. We're repairing the buildings, we're restoring lost architectural features like these lovely sash windows, and we're restoring shop fronts, putting in new shop fronts where they were very modern shop fronts.
I was keen for Carol to tell me what sort of a place they're trying to create in the Burgess and Hale Street.
I think one of the ways that high streets are going to recover from coronavirus is about independence. I think the big chains are going to really struggle, but what you can't replicate online is the experience of going into a really great independent shop, having great customer service, that sort of sense of experience that you get when you're going out shopping. And I think that's what the Burgess and Hale Street provides in Coventry. They're pretty much all independent businesses. We've got a fantastic clothing retailer, Con, been on the street for 30 years, a real kind of beacon. We've got new businesses opening, so there's a sort of a sweet treats place around the corner that's opening. It's going to provide a place where independence can thrive in Coventry City Centre.
The 15 buildings that the Historic Coventry Trust are refurbishing as part of this High Street Heritage Action Zone are among the 22 historic buildings that they are working on in a groundbreaking agreement with Coventry City Council. The two projects and two network members that I've shown you here today in Coventry really just scratch the surface of the tremendous variety of projects and services that our members are delivering around the country. Our members are doing so much more than rescuing historic buildings at risk. We're delivering business premises, homes, visitor attractions, community facilities, and breathing life into neighbourhoods, communities and town centres. It's been a tough year for many of our members, and we're not out of the woods yet. But as we emerge into the post-COVID world, the economic and well-being agendas are really going to be to the fore, and we have so much to contribute in those areas. The Heritage Trust Network is going through a period of change too. Thanks to unprecedented support from our funders, we're gearing up for new ways of working to help our members thrive. During this year, we've all had to learn to do so much more digitally, like this conference. But in the next year, what we want to do is combine the digital and the physical to get the best of both worlds. We want to help you, as we've always done, to network, to learn from each other, to gain funding and carry out your restoration projects successfully in time. Whatever your business objectives, more tenants, more visitors, more volunteers, more donations, we want to help you succeed. It's going to be an exciting year for the Heritage Trust Network, and I'm looking forward to working with you.